morning, gentlemen. I haven't spoken for 2 days and I was feeling that I'm missing something. So I thought I should make a small video about what's going on in Pakistan. Pakistan, as we all know, is India's neighbor and an important nation of southern Asia. It was created in 1947 by an act of the British Parliament when they divided India into two countries and went. The British plan at that time was very simple. They wanted to make a state, a Muslim state, which would be their gateway to Central Asia. They thought this country will be their ally. And Pakistan didn't disappoint the West, that the Americans, when 1952 the Pak leadership decided to throw their lot with America and join the security pacts against Russia. But the West knew, and even the Pakistanis knew, that that was only a bogey. Russia was a bogey. The main enemy Pakistan always felt was India. Well, much water has flown down the river. Pakistan continues to treat India as an enemy. And then in between, the Pakistanis had a new doctrine coming in, which is called defense in depth. Now, what was that? That was that they would keep Afghanistan as their sanctuary and use it as a defense to store their material and men in a battle with India. I know whoever got this harebrained idea is a pretty silly thing, but anyway, that was part of the Pakistan doctrine, which collapsed like a half pack of cards once the Taliban took over, collapsed, and then Ghani and other parties came in there, and now the Taliban is back, but the situation has not come to the same thing because there are border clashes between Pakistan and the Taliban. Because the Taliban, which is now coming to power after defeating the Americans, does not recognize the Durand line as the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, I had an occasion to read a forecast by one of the astrologers, Mr. Prashant Kapoor, and he forecast that Pakistan would break up into four states. That's the astrological prediction. Now, I don't believe in astrology, but I don't need an astrological prediction to tell you all what I'm assessing. And what is that? I can say without doubt that Pakistan is heading towards the breakup. It is going to break up into four states, maybe next year, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, but it has to happen. One shouldn't forget that Pakistan broke up into two in 1971 and it was cut to size when Bangladesh became an independent country. Earlier it was East Pakistan. I'll not go into the roots of the conflict. There was language, economic disparities, so many things, though they were both Islam, following the Islamic religion, but that itself is never a unifying force. So one part of the country went away, and the portions left were Sindh, Balochistan, Punjab, and Northwest Frontier Agency, which is they have given a name now as Pakhtunwali. Well, you give it whatever name, that area is inhabited by Pathans who are on both sides of the Durand line between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, Pakistan's ISI, the army, had a very weird concept, I could take it. They thought they'll have good terrorists and bad terrorists. They never realized that terrorism is a seamless organizing, nothing like good and bad terrorism. But the Pakistan ISI, the army, and the political leadership swallowed this theory hook, line, and sinker. They thought there would be certain elements of the hardline Islamic fundamentalists who would only fight India. They were the good terrorists, and the bad terrorists were the ones who were trying to fight Pakistan. So when you make such a distinction, you're heading for disaster because both these organizations coalesce together. And what has ultimately happened is that a Frankenstein is created in Pakistan. And now there is a news that only yesterday, in the heart of the capital of Pakistan, Islamabad, there has been a suicide attack. And this is just the beginning. The TTK, which is the Pakistan Islam Taliban, Taliban has gone into action, and they have already, in another operation, captured 9 Pakistani soldiers, including a Havaldar major, and taken him across. They are negotiating for release of Pakistani Taliban men arrested by the Pakistan government. Pakistan government is appealing on the Islamic level, trying to ignite Islamism by dealing with the Taliban, telling them, look, we are Muslims, you are Muslims, let's not fight each other, because Pakistan doesn't want to fight the Taliban. They know they will lose. But the Pakistan Taliban wants to introduce the Sharia in Pakistan. Now that is the crucial point. They want to make Pakistan part of the Islamic Caliphate, and these people are not going to give up. They never gave up anyway, and it would be a policy of the political leadership that they will agree. And the political leadership, at least now, must realize that there's nothing like good and bad terrorism. All terrorists are the same. Pakistan has got other vociferous tendencies coming up. During the earlier days, West Pakistan dominated economically over East Pakistan, and all the foreign exchange earnings which came to East Pakistan were taken to West Pakistan, spent there. East Pakistan got nothing. A little few change, some annas and paisa, that's all. Now, same thing's happening in Pakistan now. The entire economy is dominated by Punjab, is the major province, and Sindh and Baluchistan are suffering, and so are the Pakhtuns. Less said about Azad Kashmir, the better, because Azad Kashmir is not Azad Kashmir. You can keep anything. It's Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which, as per the history, should have been actually been with India. But that is now a disputed area, and I will not include it in Pakistan. Sindh also is very restive. The MQM, the main Sindh party, whose leader is in London, is asking for autonomy. And Baluchistan, which was forcibly taken over during the time of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, despite the Nawab of Kalat having acceded to India, is fighting a low grade insurrection against the Pakistan army. Now, the population of Baluchistan is not much, and that is why I said use the word low grade, because they don't have the numbers to really test the Pakistan army. But they are playing hell into the Pakistan army. They have done a lot of things at the moment. They have burnt their oil storage tanks in Gwadar, and there are agitations in Gwadar, attacks in Quetta, and the Pakistan conveniently blame it on the Indian agency RAW, which is again a cover up, because the Pakistanis know that RAW has practically very little to do in Baluchistan. So these are very dangerous portents for Pakistan. Then we have another factor which has happened is Imran Khan. Pakistan is a country which was born in a bloodbath, and the bloodbath has continued. All their leaders have either been assassinated, murdered, killed, exiled. I don't have to name them. You can go to the internet and see if there's any leader who didn't suffer from this particular syndrome, this action. There's nobody. Even the last Prime Minister, Nawaz Sharif, 10 years jail, sitting in London, and trying to run the country from there. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto hanged, Liaquat Ali Khan shot dead, General Musharraf blown up in a plane attack. There's no end to it. And in that atmosphere, the Pakistan had been courting terrorist organizations, because General Zia believed that the only way to defeat India is by 100 cuts. It's easy to talk, very easy to talk, but very difficult to implement, because India is a vibrant power, a democracy, and though India has vociferous tendencies, no doubt about it, yet for Pakistan to think that this 100 cut policy is going to succeed is lunacy. They are lunatic to think about it. Now, what is the future for Pakistan? Let's see what's happened in Pakistan. Imran Khan, the last Prime Minister of Pakistan, was ousted in a midnight vote. He lost by 2 votes, which was a voting which was engineered by the army, because the army is omnipotent in Pakistan. Now, we associate the army as a professional force to fight battles and safeguard the country, but not the Pakistan army. I think they have a very wonderful distinction, and that is they lost half the country. I don't think any country after 1945 has lost half the country. And every battle which they have fought with India, they have lost. They couldn't achieve their main objective of taking Kashmir. Never. I don't think they'll achieve also. And the army is now on the back foot because it is facing an insurrection. And is the man they worry more about is Imran Khan. Imran Khan was the pratique of the Pakistan army, but then both fell out, and now Imran has just survived an assassination attempt. Otherwise, he would have died, and he would be one more man in the long list of Pakistan leaders who have been killed. But thank God he survived. I wish him all the best. But he is fighting against the army and against the present government, which he says is an imported government. Using the word imported. Imported means a country government which has come from abroad. In a way, it may be correct because this government came with the support of the United States, and the United States is again meddling in the politics of Pakistan because they want to wean it away from China. Whether they're going to succeed or no is another point. I really can't, I'm not a soothsayer. But the facts are that at one time in Pakistan, the common saying was there are only three people that control Pakistan, that is Allah, the army, and America. America wants to come back to that position. That's why it wouldn't mind antagonizing India also if Pakistan can come on their side. But I don't think Pakistan is in a position to come on their side. They have taken billions of dollars of money from the Chinese, and China is going to twist them by the tail. They are part of that Chinese economic drive, and China itself, unfortunately, is failing very badly. I have to talk about that in another video. But with all these things now, I will just conclude and say that Pakistan is facing an existentialist crisis, a crisis of existence. It's facing an insurrection in Balochistan. The Taliban is on the war path in Afghanistan. They don't recognize the Durand line. The Pakistan Taliban has halted the ceasefire or they abrogated it and started attacks on the Pakistan military and other establishments. The economy, that's the worst part of it, is tanked. The dollar is going around 250 rupees for $1. There's no investment coming in. Their foreign reserves are zero. Whatever money is in the bank has been given by Saudi Arabia and China, and they can't utilize that money. And in all this scenario, there's runaway inflation, and yet the Pakistan army is sitting and taking a big, hefty slice of the budget, and the generals are enjoying themselves. You might have seen the wealth with General Bajwa, the chief of the army, accumulated when he was the army chief for 6 years. Just an eye opener. Compare this with the Indian army chiefs who resigned and who retired and went away and live a very sedate life, but not the Pakistani generals who have houses in London and New York, and their children are abroad and having a jolly good time. Well, what next can I say about Pakistan? I wish I could say something good about them, but there's an old saying that those whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make them mad. That's what meant to happen to Pakistan. If you see by the statements made by Bilawal Bhutto, one can only conclude that when he recently made a statement that Osama bin Laden is dead, but the butcher of Gujarat is alive. I mean, this is such a silly statement. I could, listening to it, if it was not so silly, I would die laughing on a bed of nails. This man has forgotten his father, his grandfather, was hanged like a criminal by the Pakistan army. His mother was blown to smithereens in a terrorist attack. And this man is talking nonsense. Does he realize what has happened to his family? His brother, uncle rather, Murtaza Bhutto was killed when his mother was in Pal, the Prime Minister of Pakistan in Karachi. There are fingers pointing, you know at whom? Well, so I will say, forget about this man, Bilawal Bhutto. He's a transitory phase, he will go away. He has to, there's no choice. And Pakistan, unfortunately, needs a Jinnah now, a Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was a secularist. But there's none there, and I don't see anybody coming up also. And that is the situation, sir. Pakistan is facing death and destruction. I don't require an astrologer to tell me that in a decade or two, we will stop, or rather cease to see Pakistan as it is now. What shape it will take, I cannot tell. But the present Pakistan will cease to exist. Gentlemen, I close now. I wish you all the best. Do subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and don't forget to watch all my videos. And lastly, do feel happy. I close now, gentlemen. Jai Hind. God bless you all. Glory to India.